you guys got to do me a favor from here on out, okay? And I'm sure, I'm not always in the comments on the YouTube channel, but you guys got to do me a favor. And when I title things stupidly on a YouTube video or a podcast, such as maybe Bam Adebayo and Kel'el Ware pairing is going to be the turning point of the season, do whatever you can. Message in a bottle, carrier pigeon, comment, IGDM, Twitter mention, whatever it takes. And just say, hey, Tobin, you want to know something, dude? Grow the up. You're an asshole. Stop saying things like that because you look foolish. That's what my friends should do for me. Because when you are an ass clown like I am, and I'm having the belief that pairing Kel'el Ware and Bam Adebayo is going to stop the Miami Heat from embarrassing themselves against one of the worst teams in the league, kindly remind me that they are the Miami Heat and that they are capable of losing to anybody, whether that be the Utah Jazz by 36 on their home floor, ruining my son's first NBA basketball viewing experience in person, or whether it be Joe Cronin's Portland Trail Blazers, his bald ass sitting on the bench pregame hobnobbing as he got to watch his stupid Blazers kick the snot of the Heat. For the most part, very valiant effort and run by the Young Bucks there at the end of the game. But dude, one of the things I was hoping for with the pairing of this duo is that, this is going to be dynamic defensively. And I mean, it had its run there in the first quarter where things were looking pretty good. That was buoyed, obviously, by the fact that Miami, seemingly could not miss a shot there in the first quarter. And then that went by the wayside because they went at a point where I think what did they miss? 19 straight threes at a certain point. No Tyler Hero in this game. First game without Boy Wonder. Groin injury right after his birthday. What kind of a present is that? And you walk into a game, you of course have to deal with the Jimmy Butler stuff, which kind of had its own wrinkle that was thrown. It's so much so to the point where we're kind of wondering, is he even going to suit up today? Because there was some happenings. And, we'll do the Jimmy Butler triometer here in just a second, but it almost feels like it feels like a moot point to all this because it's like, who cares how hard he was trying? At this point, he doesn't want to be there. He's not trying his hardest, and he's not playing his best, and he's not giving you a full tilt effort. So I kind of then am left with, all right, well, who do I pin this on? And, I guess today I'm gonna go in a couple directions. One, I mean, the Terry Rozier trade remains amongst the worst in franchise history. He is unbelievably bad at scoring right now. His offensive deficiencies are just stressful, just as an observer and lover of Heat basketball. I never, ever feel like any of his shots are going in. And in a night where you were like, Terry, this is your night, dude. No Tyler Hero. Your time to shine. And he's like, nope, 4 for 13. Very good. Okay, very good. And then you have a night where you have finally gotten the pairing we've so craved. Bam Adebayo, Kel'el Ware, together, starting. And that produced 0 turnovers for your Miami Heat. And by the by, I'm not putting that on Kel'el Ware, who, yes, maybe jumped a little bit too early on certain baskets and, has got to get some time down. He is a rookie. And it was one of these things where it's like, hey, Bam, if you are going to finally get what you want, which is you're going to get to Rome and you're going to go make an impact on that side of the ball, then go make an impact on that side of the ball. Ron Rothstein today, this is from Barry Jackson. Ron Rothstein takes no prisoners after performance, saying the Heat was soft tonight, showing evidence of Ayton outrunning Bam for a dunk. If Ron is calling the captain out, dude, you got to know that you disappointed a very good-hearted man who does not take defensive ability that was that is lacking on that end. He does not take kindly to that. And I just thought that, where are you when you're like, hey, we need to make some kind of a defensive stand here? It's like, I get it. There was a point where it was just like all missed threes and like there's never going to be a point where you're going to try and make anybody uncomfortable here. That was crazy. The Heat allowed the Portland Trailblazers to go turnoverless the entire first half, which I believe, according to Tom Haberstroh, had not been done this season. So, yeah, while Bam, it was fine. All right, you gave a 12 and 10 in a mere 22 minutes because you didn't play most of the second half. No steals, no blocks. I was befuddled. I was like, what the hell's going on here? I thought this is what you wanted. So, that being said, so the Heat give up. They get outscored 27-17 in the second quarter, 36-22 in the third quarter. They go into the fourth quarter, and they are down 97-77. And then there was a point, I got to be honest with you guys, I was boots on the ground, but I was rats off a ship. I headed down, I think I headed down like, it's like a 14, it was like around the 6-minute mark, I think I headed down, and I go down, and then all of a sudden I'm in the media room watching it, and Pella hits a 3, and then Pella gets an and 1. Pella Larson comes in, and I was like, damn, the Heat were able to cut it to within 9. Then Jaime gets to the line. They get another stop. He gets to within 7. There's just under 3 minutes left. The Miami Heat get a steal from Pella Larson, who couldn't convert the bucket. Would have gotten it to within 5. Instead, Simons goes the other way, and for the second straight game against the Heat, was just killing it. And he ends up getting a 3-point play. So instead of the Miami Heat being down 5, they end up being back down 9. And that was pretty much all she wrote. But it was a valiant effort indeed. And yeah, man, I'm just disappointed with that effort from Adebayo. Like, I think that, you had a game where no Tyler was out there. I thought Duncan Robinson stepped up in a huge way, and he was in foul trouble tonight. Once again, criminally convicted by these damn referees who treat him like a pariah. Like he has wronged them in some kind of way. I'll never figure it out, because there was a point where they call an offensive foul on Bam, and I was like, oh, it was really early in the game, and Bam like throws an elbow at Avdia as he's going for the bucket, and then on the other side, Avdia comes down and he just shoves Duncan Robinson, and the referees call a foul on Duncan Robinson. And I'm like, Spo, you got to challenge it. At some point, the crimes against Duncan Robinson cannot go without retribution. This is ridiculous. Like, there needs to be an answer for how the officials treat this man, the Dunkyard Dog. No respect whatsoever. And I will not stand for it. So I thought Duncan played his ass off. I give props to the young guys that obviously didn't fold. Bam, not good enough today, dude. I mean, that seems to be, I understand you're working to a new role, but it's a role you wanted. And, from my standpoint, you in your first game of being in that mode defensively, you got to make a bigger impact than that. You can't be having DeAndre Ayton get comfortable, dominating, get comfortable. And that was just the thing. Like, nobody on the Blazers felt uncomfortable. Jeremy Grant, easy going for him. Denny Avdia, easy night for him. Anthony Simons, once again, cooks the Miami Heat. Ayton, 11 of 14 today, 22 points, 15 rebounds. Come on, dude. Like, that's, no. 116-107 was your final. And then, all right, so the other thing with this all is the Jimmy Butler thing. And the big news before the game was that the Phoenix Suns had traded their 2031 pick, this much celebrated 2031 pick, this golden nugget of draft pick. They have traded to the Utah Jazz for 3 first-round picks, which then I guess unlocks more picks that they are able to go about making maneuvers and deals with. And it's not crazy to think that this all seems to very much line up with the Jimmy Butler trade is very likely happening soon. You had seen the reports. We had heard the reports from Windhorst that after the Mickey Harrison meeting that talks had picked up, but obviously some mechanisms had to be happening. Like, right? Like, we have all these salaries that are going to be moving, and it's like people aren't just taking those to be nice people, you know? Like, there does need to be a little sweetener that has to be put into the fold of all this. And so it appears they make this move. So instead of having the 1 first-round pick, the only first-round pick they can have to dump salary, they can now put 1 pick in the coffers of some team that's going to end up taking Bradley Beal, and then they give the Heat a couple for giving up Jimmy Butler. And then, of course, the Heat also have to be felt like they're being done right for taking on whatever money they're going to be taking on. So they acquired a first-round pick of the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Minnesota Timberwolves, or the Jazz protected 27 pick of Cleveland. So these are all basically, I'm guessing Donovan Mitchell trade assets is basically what they got. So yeah, I so much so like you're like I was like looking down like a crazy stalker, like looking down at Jimmy's agent today, who was sitting a few rows up from the Heat's bench, and you're like, he's on the phone there. Is he going to be moving at any time? Like, we gonna have some action here? Is he going to go over to Andy Ellisburg? What do we got going on here, dude? Is something happening? So I tweeted out the buckle up gift because I was like, I don't know what's going to happen here. And literally, I'm like looking at the countdown. I'm like, well, the high five club's out here. Is Jimmy going to come out here? Oh, okay. He's not out there with the original crew, but hey, he's been coming out late. Is he there? Now, he did come out very, I've been here for 2 of the 3 Jimmy return games. I was not at the Spurs game. And he was definitely more jovial today, I would say, with his teammates. Handshakes, more interaction. Maybe it's because, he wore Sun shoes and thinks, I am out of here soon, dude. Maybe that's what that was. Or maybe it's just kind of all been a little less weird with it being around here. He has said that he doesn't have beef with his teammates. And I do think that everybody's been like, what are you're going to be, jerky around us? Like, that's going to do anything? Like, you think that's going to make any maneuvers happen? So it has definitely felt less weird in the beginnings. But you still see him on the bench. Like, the reactions are not what everybody else's is. He's a little bit disconnected. And then the game, I saw people say on Twitter today, I saw a lot of people say, well, this is the most engaged Jimmy Butler has been by a long shot. And I was like, it is? I don't know, dude. I thought it was a game he racked up a lot of assists because Duncan Robinson was basically hitting every damn 3 that there was. So good on Jimmy. I'm not trying to take away stats here, but yeah, I thought that he was, going to the basket and was being a big distributor. Fine. But then like he did this odd thing. Like you notice like in the third quarter, I think, what did he have at the half? He had 7 points, 6 assists. I basically said he's like Kyle Lowry now. Like, you basically remember when like we would watch Kyle Lowry on the Heat, and basically you could only get Kyle to shoot if you basically forced him. Like, it was either a wide open shot, end of shot clock. He was right under the basket. But like you'd watch these games and like Kyle like wouldn't even look at the basket, but he'd get his assists, he'd do his other things. That's what I compare Jimmy Butler to. I'm like, oh, he's playing like his best friend. He's playing like Kyle Lowry. That's what he's out there doing basically right now. But then like oddly, he comes out in the third quarter and he then starts like putting his head down. He got a putback on his own miss. He got to the line. But then like he all of a sudden was like just willy-nilly with the basketball, just like, and they were all turning into turnovers, and then the Blazers could not miss. And then there was this one where like Jeremy Grant just rises up for a three, and Jimmy Butler's like right in front of him, doesn't even put a hand in his face. He's like, I'm not even trying. I'm like, all right, dude. We get it. And so, like, with 2:34 left, Pelle Larsson checked in for Jimmy Butler. And it was hard not to feel in that moment. I'm like, might be the last time we see him in a Heat uniform. It may be. It may be. So, we'll see. Definitely feels like if there is going to be any movement, there's now actual dominoes falling into place to make this happen. And to get Jimmy Butler to his desired destination. So, I will, like, what's going to be the positive ramification of all of it? I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be one of those things that's like has this immediate, this immediate payoff for Jimmy coming back. He posts his normal post-game photo montage today. You do see the Suns colored sneakers there. But yeah, like I think it's exhausting to even do this. Like Spo was asked by Ira after the game about, the effort of Jimmy, and he goes like, well, I know what you're looking for. And I'm like, well, yeah, Spo, like you don't have to hide from it, dude. Like it's pretty obvious where we're at with all of this.
Typically in cases like this, there'll be times when someone is down and your leading man will take over and do a little bit more. Jimmy's effort tonight seemed a bit languid. He wasn't there on the floor at the finish. How are you working through this level of Jimmy that you've gotten since his return?
It is. I know what you're trying to get out of me. You're not going to get anything worthwhile. It was not a very inspiring, first 3 quarters, by the whole group. So it's tough to like pinpoint one person in that.
Which is fair. Like, it wasn't all on Jimmy. I'm not trying to say this loss is on Jimmy. It's obviously something the team is dealing with. But I think that they've shown a capability to win without, this being a thing. I do think that, sheesh, you want to talk about whose show this is. If you needed any clear case that it's Tyler Hero's show right now, look no further than tonight's game, because he absolutely obliterated a different Blazers team, I guess, but obliterated a Blazers team nonetheless when they were in Portland. One of his best games of the season. And I get it. Spo doesn't want to make it any worse, or doesn't want to give, especially with Jimmy's camp. Let's be honest. They've had rabbit ears, and they've been really sensitive about this stuff. Not that the Heat haven't like done their own damage control, but like they're like looking for reasons to get angry. Like, what you said? It's like, all right, dude, like, we get it. You guys, you're gonna get your. Hey, you guys win. You're gonna get your way. You're gonna end up in Phoenix. If not, then I guess the next game, Jimmy Butler, he could show up to if Jimmy Butler's here Monday, which I'm going to be really surprised by. If Jimmy Butler is here Monday for a home game against the Magic, I guess, I don't know, dude. Show up with a Gila monster and a cactus. Like, if you can't make it any clearer where you want to be, maybe let a Gila monster loose in the locker room or something. I don't know. Venomous lizard. But yeah, I honestly, to Ira's point on that, I think best player, like I think I was looking for a little bit more from Adebayo to step up in Tyler's absence. And especially defensively to have that impact. Like I think he had a good offensive spurt tonight, but his bread and butter is supposed to be shutting teams down, and especially with this new Kel'el, which I love watching this guy. My God. I mean, that dunk that he had over Scoot Henderson. I mean, ridiculous. He grabbed a late shot clock three from Duncan Robinson. He just grabbed out of the air and slammed it down. He is unbelievably fun to watch. He really is. And I think that is a very, very exciting element the rest of this Heat season. However, until this thing is solved, I don't know. It's tough not to have it be this thing that lingers over everything, even with Jimmy playing fine. He's playing fine. I guess it's to this point. Like, he doesn't look like he's actively trying to tank like he did against the Pacers, but is he really like bringing his hammer to a game to win? No, he's not. And it's a little bit of that is a weird scenario that he'd have to play through with all of this. And we'll see how much longer this goes on. It would seem like with more ducks going in a row that I wondered, like, hey, is this going to even hit the road? Don't know. But certainly feels like more of a portal, a window, a door, whatever mechanism you want to travel through to the next space. It seems like more of that has opened up now for a possible trade to finally get here, and this could potentially be behind everybody. And then I guess we'll see what the true grade of the season is, because look, there has been too much of this up and down, and now it's kind of really just leveling off at mediocrity. And so when I made my stupid claim of, hey, could Bam Adebayo and Kel'el Ware be the turning point of the season? Hopefully, with their all-star coming back and Tyler Hero, maybe that will get things around. I mean, I will say Duncan Robinson's played his ass off the last two games. He's been awesome. He really has been awesome, and that was even with getting into foul trouble today. But not enough. That mother Joe Cronin laughing at us, dude, laughing at us.